The bullet casing was cold against Melissa's palm. Tae-hyun stood 3 feet away, eyes locked on her pocket, tension radiating off him like heat. The question hung in the air between them like a blade. "What's in your pocket, Mrs. Park?" Melissa made a decision that would either save her life or end it. She pulled out the casing, held it up between them, brass catching the lamplight. Tae-hyun's expression didn't change, but something flickered in his eyes. He stepped forward, took it from her fingers carefully, turned it over. Stopped when he saw the red triangle stamped on the base. The silence stretched long enough that Melissa could hear her own heartbeat. "Where did you get this?" His voice was quiet. Dangerous quiet. The intruder dropped it, in the storage wing. When they were going through Jinwoo's things. Taehyun's jaw tightened. He stared at the casing like it was a bomb that might detonate. "There's something else," Melissa said. She moved to her desk, pulled out the medical textbook, retrieved the business card, handed it to him. Taehyun held both items under the light. The red triangles matched perfectly. "I found that card in Jinwoo's briefcase," Melissa continued. "The one that got mixed with my things when they moved me here. No name, just a phone number and that symbol." Taehyun was very still. The kind of stillness that meant he was thinking fast, calculating angles, reassessing everything. "Why didn't you tell me about this before?" "Because until tonight, I thought you wanted me dead." Melissa crossed her arms. "Now I think maybe we both want the same thing." "Which is?" "To find out who actually killed your brother." Taehyun looked at her for a long moment. Then he pulled out his phone, took photos of both items, and pocketed the casing. "Come with me," he said. "Where?" "Somewhere we can talk without being recorded." He walked out. Melissa hesitated only a second before following. They moved through the house in silence, down hallways, past closed doors, toward the western wing. Taehyun stopped at his private office, unlocked it, gestured her inside. The room was all dark wood and leather, bookshelves lining 2 walls, a massive desk covered in papers and monitors. He closed the door, locked it, then pulled heavy curtains over the windows. "This room is clean," he said. "No surveillance. I sweep it twice a day." Paranoid? Practical. He moved to his desk, woke up his computer. "The Park family doesn't operate on trust. We operate on leverage and information. If you're not careful, someone's always watching." He pulled up a file, turned the monitor so she could see. Security footage. The hallway outside Jinwoo's room. The timestamp running in the corner. "Watch," Taehyun said. Melissa leaned closer. 2340. Empty corridor. 341. Still empty. 342. She entered the frame, moved toward Jinwoo's door. 2342:17 entered the room. Then the timestamp jumped. 2344:02. Almost 2 minutes, just gone. "Someone edited this," Taehyun said, after Jinwoo was killed. "They deleted footage to make it look like you were the only person who went in." Melissa's breath caught. "You knew. You've known since 2 days ago. I had my tech specialist pull the raw server logs." He closed the video, opened another file. The footage was accessed and modified at 1:33 a.m. on the night of Jinwoo's death. User ID, admin Zo7. Who has that access? 15 people, all family members or senior staff. He pulled up a list of names. But only one person logged into the security system at 1:33 a.m. that night. He highlighted a name, Park Jin-seok, the nervous cousin from dinner. The one who'd looked terrified when Melissa challenged the time of death. "Jin-seok," Melissa said slowly. "He edited the footage to frame me. Or he edited it to cover for someone else. Jin-seok isn't smart enough to plan a murder, but he's scared enough to help hide one. So what do? We find out what Jinwoo was involved in." Taehyun leaned against his desk. "What got him killed, and we find out who Jin-seok is protecting." Taehyun's eyes were hard. "Because whoever it is, they're still in this house." A knock on the door made them both freeze. "Mr. Park," Mrs. Shin's voice muffled through the wood. "Mrs. Park Sr. requests your presence in the main house. Immediately." Taehyun straightened. "Tell her I'll be there in 5 minutes." Footsteps retreated. He looked at Melissa. "Stay here. Don't open this door for anyone but me. Understand? What's happening?" "I don't know yet. But if Mother is calling an emergency meeting at 1 in the morning, something's wrong." He left, locking the door behind him. Melissa stood alone in the office, surrounded by files and monitors, and the evidence that she'd been framed. She moved to the desk, looked at the list of names still on screen. 15 people with admin access. She recognized most of them. Park Myongja manager Choi, Taehyun, Jin Seok, other family members she'd seen at dinner. One name caught her eye. Park Jin-woo, of course. Jin-woo would have had access to his own security system, but something about that bothered her. If Jin-woo had access, could he have known someone was coming for him? Could he have reviewed his own footage? Melissa touched the keyboard, and the screen flickered to life, still logged in. She shouldn't. This was Taehyun's private computer. His files, but she was fighting for her life. Privacy was a luxury she couldn't afford. She opened the security system interface, navigated to archived footage. Found Jin-woo's penthouse back through dates, the night of his death, earlier in the evening before the wedding, 23. Jin-woo in his bedroom on his phone, pacing, agitated, 23 May 15, still on the phone, angry now, shouting at someone, 23:20. He hung up, stood at his window, looking out at the city. Then he opened his laptop. Melissa leaned closer, trying to see what he was looking at. The angle was wrong, but his face, his expression was tense. Afraid. He closed the laptop quickly, looked around like he expected someone to be watching. Then he did something strange. He removed a small USB drive from the laptop, walked to his closet, came back without it. Hidden. He'd hidden something. At 23:30, Jin-woo got a text. Read it. His face went pale. He typed a response, set down his phone. Then he pulled out a gun from his nightstand drawer. Melissa's pulse hammered. Jin-woo had been armed. Had been expecting trouble. So how had someone gotten close enough to shoot him? The footage continued. Bati Jin-woo put the gun back in the drawer, sat on the edge of his bed, waited. At 23:41, someone knocked on his door. Jin-woo stood, went to answer it. But the camera angle didn't show the door, didn't show who came in. The video feed cut off at 23:42. The missing footage started exactly when someone entered Jin-woo's room. Melissa sat back, mind racing. Jin-suk had deleted the footage. But what had he deleted? Who had Jin-woo let into his room? Someone he knew. Someone he trusted enough to put away his gun. The office door unlocked. Melissa jumped, quickly closed the video file. Taehyun entered, face grim. We have a problem, he said. What kind of problem? Jin Seok is missing. He left the compound 2 hours ago, told security he was going to Seoul for business. But Mother didn't authorize any travel. Taehyun moved to his safe, opened it, pulled out a handgun. She thinks he's running. Running from what? From whoever killed Jin-woo. Or from us. He checked the magazine, chambered around. Mother wants me to find him, bring him back. She knows he tampered with the footage. She knows something's wrong. She doesn't know what yet. Taehyun holstered the gun under his jacket. But Jin Seok is the key. If we find him, we get answers. I saw something, Melissa said, in the security footage. Jin-woo hid a USB drive in his closet the night he died, right before someone came to his room. Taehyun went very still. Show me. She pulled up the footage, showed him Jin-woo's movements. The closet, Taehyun said quietly. His penthouse has been sealed since his death. No one's been inside except crime scene investigators. Then the drive might still be there. They looked at each other. We need to get into that penthouse, Melissa said. It's a crime scene. Mother has it locked down. You're her son, Jin-woo's brother. You can get access. Taehyun considered this, then nodded. We go now, before she changes her mind about trusting me. The penthouse felt like a tomb. Police tape across the door, seal broken. Inside, everything was exactly as Melissa remembered from that terrible night. Overturned lamp, scattered papers, bloodstains on the white sheets turned brown with age. Taehyun moved through the space like a ghost, face carefully blank. But Melissa saw the tension in his shoulders. This was his brother's death room, his crime scene. The closet, she said quietly. They moved to Jin-woo's walk-in closet. Designer suits, expensive shoes, everything organized with military precision. Where would he hide it? Taehyun asked. Melissa thought back to the footage. Jin-woo had walked to the right side of the closet, been gone less than 30 seconds. She moved to the right wall, started checking shelves, shoeboxes, jacket pockets. Nothing. Taehyun checked the left side, worked methodically through drawers and hanging clothes. Wait, Melissa knelt down, examined the baseboard. One section looked newer than the rest. Less dust. Here, she pressed. The baseboard popped out. Behind it, in a small hollow space, a USB drive wrapped in plastic. Melissa pulled it out carefully, held it up. Taehyun took it, turned it over in his fingers. No markings, just a standard black drive. We need to see what's on this, he said. They returned to Taehyun's office. He plugged the drive into his computer, the secure one, isolated from the estate network. The drive loaded, password protected. Shit, Taehyun muttered. Try his birthday, Melissa suggested. Didn't work. Mother's birthday. No. The wedding date. Still nothing, Melissa thought. What would Jinwoo use? What was important enough to... Try the date of your father's death, she said quietly. Taehyun looked at her sharply, then typed in the numbers. The drive unlocked. Inside were folders. Dozens of them. Photos, documents, audio files, all labeled with dates and case numbers. One folder was labeled Red Triangle. Taehyun opened it. Photos filled the screen. Men in business suits sitting around a conference table. Some faces Melissa recognized from news broadcasts. Politicians, businessmen, public figures. Others she didn't know. Who are these people? She asked. Trouble. Taehyun's voice was tight. He scrolled through more photos. These are some of the most powerful men in Busan. Politicians. Corporate executives. Judges. More files. Bank transaction records. Dates, amounts. Millions of won moving between accounts. Jinwoo was investigating them, Melissa said. No. Taehyun opened another file, a contract with the Park family seal at the top. He was working for them. The Park family handles problems for people who can't use legal channels. Jinwoo was documenting transactions for Red Triangle. This was a job. Then why hide the evidence? Because something went wrong. Taehyun clicked on an audio file dated 3 days before Jinwoo's death. Jinwoo's voice came through the speakers, tense, angry. I don't care what you promised them. This is different. These aren't just transactions. This is trafficking. People, children. Another voice, distorted, filtered. You knew what you were getting into. I knew we were moving money. Not moving human beings. I'm done. I'm out. You're not out until we say you're out. You have evidence. We want it back. I already gave everything to... The audio cut off. Silence. Melissa's stomach turned. He was going to expose them. He tried to. Taehyun closed the file, face dark. Red Triangle was using our family's services to move trafficking proceeds. Jinwoo documented everything, then tried to back out when he realized what it was. They killed him for it. Why didn't he go to the police? Because half the police are probably on Red Triangle's payroll. Taehyun stood, started pacing. Jinwoo knew that. He was looking for someone he could trust, someone outside the system. He said in the recording, I already gave everything to... Someone else has copies. Or he was bluffing. Either way, Red Triangle thought he still had evidence. That's why they killed him. And that's why the intruder was searching his things, Melissa added. They're still looking for this drive. Taehyun stopped pacing, looked at her. Which means we just made ourselves Red Triangle's next targets. A knock on the door. Sharp, urgent. Taehyun, Park Myungja's voice. Cold, commanding. Open this door, now. Taehyun grabbed the USB drive, shoved it in his pocket. Unlocked the door. Park Myungja stood in the hallway, flanked by 2 security guards. Her face was carved from ice. Jin Seok is dead, she said flatly. His car went off a bridge outside Seoul an hour ago. Single vehicle accident, no witnesses. Melissa's blood ran cold. That's not an accident, Taehyun said. No, it's not. Park Myungja looked past him to Melissa. What did you find in Jinwoo's penthouse? Mother, don't lie to me. I had security alert me the moment that door was opened. She held out her hand. Give me whatever you took. Taehyun's hand moved to his pocket. Protective. It's evidence, he said. Jinwoo was killed because of what he knew. Red Triangle? I know about Red Triangle. Park Myungja's voice cut like a blade. I've known since the beginning. Why do you think I forced that girl to marry into this family? Melissa's breath caught. You knew I was innocent. I knew you were a convenient scapegoat. Red Triangle killed Jinwoo and framed you to create chaos, to make us focus inward while they cleaned up loose ends. Park Myungja's expression didn't soften. Marrying you to Taehyun kept you alive. As a Park, you're protected. They can't touch you without declaring war on this family. You used me, Melissa said. I saved you, there's a difference. Park Myungja turned back to Taehyun. Now give me the drive. No. The word hung in the air like a gunshot. Park Myungja's eyes narrowed. Excuse me? Jinwoo died for this evidence. I'm not letting it disappear into family politics. Taehyun's voice was steel. If Red Triangle is trafficking people, this needs to go to someone who can actually stop them. And who do you suggest? The police they own? The prosecutors they've bought? Park Myungja stepped closer. You're naive, Taehyun. This is bigger than justice. This is survival. Red Triangle has power you can't imagine. If we move against them, they'll destroy this entire family. Let them get away with murder? So we do nothing? We protect what's ours. That's what we do. The sound of engines outside interrupted them. Multiple vehicles approaching fast. Park Myungja's expression changed. Just for a second. Fear flickered across her face. They're here, she said. Who? Melissa asked. Red Triangle. Park Myungja turned to the security guards. Lock down the compound. No one gets in or out. She grabbed Taehyun's arm. How many people know about that drive? Just us. Then you need to leave, now. She pulled a set of car keys from her pocket, pressed them into his hand. There's a car in the east garage. Take the service exit. It's not on the main security grid. Mother. They're not here to negotiate, Taehyun. They're here to eliminate everyone who knows what Jinwoo found. That includes you, both of you. She pushed him toward the back of the office. There's a passage behind the bookshelf. It leads to the service tunnels.go. Taehyun pulled aside the bookshelf, revealing a narrow door. Outside shouting gunfire, Melissa's blood turned to ice. Go! Park Myungja commanded. Taehyun grabbed Melissa's hand, pulled her through the door into darkness. Behind them, Park Myungja closed the passage, and they heard the bookshelf slide back into place. Pitch-black stone walls, the smell of earth and old air. There's a flashlight on the wall, Taehyun said. His voice echoed strangely. Melissa felt along the wall, found it, clicked it on. A tunnel stretched ahead of them, narrow, descending. More gunfire above them, muffled, distant but getting closer. Move, Taehyun said. They ran. The tunnel twisted and turned, branching off in multiple directions. Taehyun navigated without hesitation. He'd been down here before. Knew the way. They emerged into an underground garage. 3 cars parked in darkness. Taehyun moved to a black sedan, unlocked it with the keys his mother had given him. Get in. Melissa climbed into the passenger seat. Taehyun started the engine, killed the lights, rolled toward the exit slowly. The service gate was closed but not locked. He got out, pushed it open manually, got back in. They slipped through into an alley behind the compound. Behind them, the sound of breaking glass. Shouts, more gunfire. Taehyun turned onto a side street, kept the speed normal, lights off until they were 3 blocks away. Then he accelerated. Melissa looked back. The park compound was lit up like a war zone. Security lights, searchlights, shadows moving. Your mother. She can handle herself, Taehyun said. But his grip on the steering wheel was white-knuckled. They drove in silence for 10 minutes, taking random turns, making sure no one was following. Finally, Taehyun pulled into an empty parking garage, killed the engine. Sat there, breathing hard. Melissa realized she was shaking. What just happened? She whispered. Red Triangle just declared war. Taehyun pulled out his phone, checked it. No calls from Mother. Either she's contained the situation or... He didn't finish the sentence. Melissa looked at him, really looked at him. This man who'd been her captor, her accuser, was now the only thing standing between her and people who'd killed Jinwoo, killed Jin Seok, and would kill them without hesitation. What do we do now? She asked. Taehyun pulled out the USB drive, stared at it. Jinwoo said he gave the evidence to someone. Someone he trusted. He looked at Melissa. We need to find out who, because whoever it is, they're the only person who can help us now. And if we can't find them... Taehyun's smile was bitter. Then we just became the most wanted people in Busan. He started the car again. Pulled out of the garage into the night. Behind them, the city glittered like broken glass. Ahead, nothing but darkness and questions, and the weight of evidence that had already killed 2 people. Melissa pressed her hand against the window, felt the cold glass against her palm, and thought, this is how you survive. You keep moving, you don't stop, because the moment you stop, they catch you, and being caught meant death. Taehyun's phone buzzed. He checked it, face going pale. What? Melissa asked. He showed her the screen. A text from an unknown number. I have what Jinwoo gave me. Meet me at the old fish market, Pier 7. Come alone. You have 2 hours. Below it, a photo. Park Myungja, bound to a chair, blood on her face, eyes defiant but afraid. The message was clear. Come with the evidence or his mother dies. Taehyun stared at the screen. Jaw clenched so tight, Melissa could see the muscle jumping. It's a trap, she said quietly. I know, his voice was hollow. But she's my mother. He turned the car around, headed toward the docks. Melissa didn't argue. Didn't tell him it was suicide. Because if it were her family, she'd do the same thing. The city lights blurred past as they drove toward the pier, toward Red Triangle, toward whatever waited for them in the darkness by the water. And Melissa realized this wasn't about survival anymore. This was about choosing which death you'd accept, going down fighting or living as a coward. She'd already made her choice the moment she showed Taehyun that bullet casing. Now they'd see if it was the right one. The dock loomed ahead, dark and empty, water lapping against wooden posts. Somewhere in that darkness, Red Triangle was waiting. Taehyun parked the car, turned off the engine, looked at Melissa one last time. "You don't have to come," he said. "This isn't your fight." Melissa opened her door. "Yes, it is. The moment they framed me for murder, it became my fight." They got out of the car together, walked toward Pier 7, toward answers, toward blood, toward whatever ending this story had always been heading for. The water was black as oil. The wind smelled like salt and rust and old death, and somewhere in the darkness, someone was watching them approach.